Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Marley if you're new here, and today I'm going to be doing another tier ranking video. I know this trend is dying, it's basically dead, but I wanted to do another one. You guys may have seen I did a tier ranking video on my channel a couple months ago where I tier ranked all of the current TV shows that I watch. So that's TV shows that are still coming up with new episodes and are still airing. I wanted to do one where I ranked all of the TV shows that have completed, so there are no more new episodes coming out. So a lot of them are kind of like older classic shows. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm doing this for myself, but if this sounds interesting to you, keep watching. First of all, let's go through my tiers. First of all, we have the show Changed My Life, so that's gonna be obviously like God tier. Next one is would binge watch again. Middle tier is going to be that I would recommend it to others, but that, you know, I'm not really interested in watching it again. Next tier is I have mixed feelings about it. And our final tier is going to be somehow I got through it. If you saw in my last tier video for TV shows, I had another tier at the very bottom that was something like completely hated it or something like that. And yet I ended up not putting any TV shows in there because I don't normally hate the TV shows I watch. So for this one, I didn't put any tier like that because I probably wouldn't have anything to go in it. So the last one is just gonna be somehow got through it. And I still don't think there'll be that many that go in there. So first up we have That 70s Show. This is one that I watched this year, or maybe I started watching last year and then finished this year, so it's still pretty recent for me. And I did enjoy it quite a bit. And since it is a sitcom, those are very easy to binge watch multiple times. I'm gonna put it in would binge watch again. So the next one that we have is Baby Daddy. This is another sitcom. It's a bit less popular. I think it was on like ABC Family. One of those shows, more for like a younger audience. So I'm gonna put this in recommend to others. I actually thought this was really cute. It does sometimes have like borderline cringy humor, but overall I actually really like the actors, and there was a really cute couple, Riley and Danny, throughout the show that I really liked. Next up we have Breaking Bad, which everyone and their mother knows about. This I'm gonna put, I think, in mixed feelings because I get that this is like critically acclaimed, like a very good series, but it can be really boring sometimes. I think the episodes are kind of long maybe, and it's just not really my type of show, like dealing with drugs and stuff, drug dealing. But I recognize that like it was a good show. We love Jesse, but I definitely was bored in a lot of it. Next we have Dawson's Creek. I think I would put this and would binge watch again. I was close to putting it in Change My Life, mostly because of Pacey and Joey. If you watch the show, they're like kind of like the main ship, and they're so cute. They're like one of the best TV couples of all time, and I would really recommend watching for them. But also all the other characters are fun as well. It's definitely like very like soapy, like soap drama, teenage drama. The next show we have is Degrassi, The Next Generation. I don't know if a lot of Americans know about this show. Degrassi is known to be a very like Canadian show that deals with teenagers in high school, dealing with a lot of like real issues. I think I would put recommend to others. I don't think I ever have many problems with this show. I like how it deals with a lot of topics that other shows will avoid. It's really dramatic, but like I think it can be kind of low-key realistic. Next we have The Fosters. Love the show, but I'm just gonna put it in recommended to others. I really would recommend this to others. Similar to Degrassi, like it deals with a lot of hard-hitting topics like foster care, but I'm not really sure if I would want to like rewatch this, but it's a really good show. Next we have Game of Thrones. Now, are we judging this on the overall series or every season before the last one or the last one? Because we do not stand the last season, but I'm just gonna put a recommend to others. I hope this tier doesn't get too many in it, but I just don't know if I would watch it again, especially with like the bitter taste in my mouth that the last season left. I would maybe want to rewatch the first couple seasons, but think I'll just go middle tier. Next we have Gilmore Girls. I'm gonna put this in recommend to others. This is gonna be the big tier. Oh, this show is really great. I know a lot of people binge it a lot. I think it's too kind of lengthy that I would not do that. I would maybe want to rewatch like the seasons with Jess, but that's about all. Glee, honestly, I'm gonna put it in could binge watch again, just because again this is a comedy, which makes it a little easier to rewatch. And actually semi recently rewatched some of the musical numbers and I was getting really into it, and I was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind rewatching this and seeing all those musical numbers again. Next we have Hannibal. I'm gonna put in Somehow I Got Through It. Again, I recognize like the good parts of this show. I know it has like a huge following, but it's one of those shows similar to Breaking Bad where it just has a lot of boring moments for me, so it's just like not for me. Next we have Heart of Dixie. Low-key, like I kind of want to put no, I'll put it in recommend to others. I don't know, I don't think a lot of people have heard of Heart of Dixie, but it was on the CW and it was like a drama comedy show, and it had Rachel Bilson in it, so you know, like from the OC. I feel like it's an underrated show because it was really good. So many of the ships were great. It was really entertaining, so if you know a way to watch it, I would definitely watch it. Hemlock Grove. I would put this in mixed feelings, but the later seasons could low-key go and Somehow I Got Through It. This was like a vampire werewolf show that I think was on Netflix, and it's one of those shows that just has like interesting vibe to it initially, and then it can get sort of boring. Next we have How I Met Your Mother. I'm gonna put this up in Changed My Life. I would probably say this is one of my top shows, but I just have not got around to rewatching. I'm not a big rewatcher, but I really do want to rewatch this show. I remember I enjoyed it so much when I first watched it in high school. Just love all the characters, and I think they're so uniquely like funny. I never watched Friends, as you'll see, so this is kind of, I guess, my version of Friends. Next we have Jane the Virgin. I'm gonna put in recommend to others. This is another show that I binged semi recently, I would say within the last year, and it is so good. You guys probably have heard of it. It's like a comedy drama. It's sort of like a parody of telenovelas. It's amazing. I actually enjoyed it so much. I miss it. Next show we have is Lost, which I'm easily gonna put in would binge watch again. It's been a minute since I watched this show, but I remember being so into it. I love how it has so many characters where you're constantly getting flashbacks and learning about them, and the mystery of the island. It's definitely one that I think would be worth rewatching and sort of picking up on things you didn't the first time. Next we have Merlin from BBC, and that's gonna go in Change My Life. I love this show so much. The two main characters and two main actors do such a great job with this show, and the characters of Merlin and Arthur, they are bro TP. Their friendship is so special, and you can even ship them as like more than friends. Yeah, I just would really recommend this to everyone. Next we have the Mindy Project with our queen, Mindy Kaling. I'm gonna put this in would binge watch again. This was, I think, one of the first like comedy sitcoms that I watched, because I don't watch that many, and I just really live for Mindy Kaling's humor. Maybe it's not for everyone, but for me, it was everything. I really enjoyed it. So interesting, I put Misfits on here. I don't think I finished Misfits. I think I kind of only watched the first few seasons. Once Nathan left, I think a lot of us stopped tuning in. I know I saw until the end of like Simon and Alicia's storyline as well. Don't know what season that was. This, I would say recommend to others. I can't remember it super well, but it's like has to do with superheroes, and it's a British show, and it's super funny and interesting. Next we have My Mad Fat Diaries. I low-key want to put this in Changed My Life. Might be a stretch. Maybe I should put it lower. Okay, I'll put it lower. Would into my second tier. This is another British show that was super funny. It's about this girl who has a lot of like mental health issues. She's a plus size girl, and we just see her going through her body image issues and finding love, and the main ship in this is so cute. You probably saw them on Tumblr like back in the day. Next I have Mr. Robot. My boyfriend will probably get mad at me, but I think I'm only gonna put this in mixed feelings. There were parts of this show that I really adored, but there were a lot of episodes that I thought were really boring and hard to get through. So I'm just gonna put it in mixed feelings. Next, ooh, we have Nashville. Honestly, love Nashville. I'm gonna put it in recommend to others. This is definitely my biggest tier. But Nashville, you guys probably heard of it. It had a Hayden Panettiere in it. It's about country music stars and like the music industry. And I am not a country music girl. I like a couple songs. Like I'm not a super hater, but it's just like I'm not a country person. But I still loved this show. It has the drama. Like even if you don't like country music, you do have to sit through some of it. But you can watch it for the drama, honestly. Next, we have One Day at a Time, which was canceled on Netflix. I actually just found out the other day that like CBS or something picked it up. So we actually are having more episodes, so this isn't totally accurate. But I'm gonna put this on recommend to others. Again, this was just a beautiful show. It's a sitcom, so it's really, really funny. It's about like a Cuban American family and just their lives. There's also LGBT like representation. A very important show. I love how it's like a comedy, but it also tackles, again, a lot of important issues. You can see that's like a theme for my favorite shows. Like there's like PTSD stuff like that. Anyways, Orange is the New Black. We're gonna put it in mixed feelings. Yeah. Again, this is a show that had some really good moments, some really interesting characters, and representation of different life experience that I had not seen before on TV. But I think there's boring moments too, and it's not one of my favorite shows. Next we have The Originals, which is a spin-off show of the Vampire Diaries that follows the originals. And it was honestly very good, but I wasn't a huge fan of the originals. I know there's a lot of like Klaus and Elijah fans out there. I liked it, but that's about all. I still would recommend it if you've watched the Vampire Diaries. So that's why I'll put it in recommend it to others. A lot of people like the originals more than Vampire Diaries, so maybe check it out no matter what. Next we have Orphan Black. I'm putting it in recommend to others again. There's so many in here. I should have made more tiers maybe. This is a show that's about clones that you probably heard about years ago, and it's a super amazing show. It has everything you want. It has amazing acting, it has comedy, it also has like drama. It's super impressive to see Tatiana Maslany play, I forget how many clones she plays throughout the series, but it's like multiple clones. It's at least like 5 or 6 like main characters that she plays like almost every episode. It's really amazing to watch. She's great. Highly recommend. Next we have One Tree Hill, and this is gonna go up into my top tier of Changed My Life. This is like the first teen drama series I remember watching when I was young, like 8th grade or something, and it's so good. Like the drama is so high quality. Teen drama, it's crazy. All the characters are super interesting, and it has comedy and all that stuff. Next we have Once Upon a Time. I might put it down in mixed feelings. I feel like recommend to others, it's getting too big. But Once Upon a Time was a show I loved the first season, especially the first half of the first season. I loved the idea of fairy tales and seeing like their real life versions and the whole premise. But as the seasons went on, I wasn't super happy with the direction it went. For example, a lot of you guys, if you've watched the show, might know Captain Hook, and I hated him. And he was a fan favorite and just got like a lot of screen time and stuff later on the series, and just wasn't super happy with where it went. Next we have Pretty Little Liars. I should have had a tier in between mixed and recommend to others, but so I'm just gonna put it in mixed feelings. Again, I feel like when I was a teenager, I enjoyed this show. I watched it. I was interested in who was A, and I was interested in the relationships. Looking back on it, not a super high quality show, and I wouldn't want to rewatch it, and I wouldn't overly recommend it either. I just feel like there's better shows out there. But I do appreciate Troyan, who played Spencer, and Ashley Benson, who played Hannah. I feel like they're more like the standard. Oh, I like Shay Mitchell though, who plays Emily. Okay, I don't know. There's like a nostalgic factor to me liking Pretty Little Liars, but that's mostly it. Ooh, Prison Break. I would put low-key and would binge watch again, especially the first season or first couple. This is, as you guys probably know, a brother is like trying to break his brother out of jail or prison, and he gets like the whole prison like tattooed on him, and it's like a very exciting show that I feel would be fun to rewatch again one day. Not really interested in anytime soon, but I could rewatch. Okay, here we go. Queer as Folk. I'm gonna put this up in Changed My Life. So this is an older show. I think it started in the 90s or like early 2000s. It follows a group of queer men who live in Pittsburgh, I think it is. But it was filmed actually here in Toronto where I live, so that's cool. But I think it was very like ahead of its time. I think it was one of the first shows that had so much like gay representation and actually like showed stuff. Like it's a pretty graphic show, just be warned about that. But I loved it. I actually have rewatched it. It just has to be a favorite. Next, we have Revenge. This is a show I kind of forget about sometimes, but I would recommend it to others. This has a very like Gossip Girl vibe. It is about rich people who live in like the Hamptons, I think it's called. There's this one girl, main character, who's trying to get revenge on this like very rich family that has done her wrong. Like they got her father like arrested and killed and stuff. So if you like Gossip Girl, which I never watched, as you'll see, it's not on this list, but it has a lot of Gossip Girl vibes. Scream Queens. Okay, I'll put it recommend to others. This one is it's quite silly. It's a quite silly show, but it has a lot of funny moments, especially I feel Emma Roberts as Chanel has a lot of good lines, and there's a lot of other like silliness that happens. So if you're into those like silly comedy shows, like kind of similar to Glee, it's made by the same guy, then I would check that out. A lot of like cameos, a lot of famous people. Now we have Sense8, which was on Netflix. I really adored this show. Okay, I should have had another tier. I always make mistakes in these tier videos, and I should have done more tiers, or I just have too many TV shows. But Sense8's gonna go and recommend to others. I think this is a pretty underrated show. It's again great diversity. It has characters from all over the world, and you genuinely see them in like India, Africa, Korea, like the UK, everywhere. The cinematography's on point. There's humor in it and really good relationships, and the plot can be a little bit confusing. I'm not even going to take on explaining it, but definitely recommend that. Ooh, Series of Unfortunate Events is going to go and recommend to others again. Shocker. I was a huge fan of these books growing up, and I was always disappointed by that movie with Jim Carrey. So when I saw it was being made into a show, I was so excited, and I was not disappointed. They fleshed out these books so well, included like everything from the books, and then added more to it. It's honestly so good. Sherlock, low key, I'm gonna would binge watch again in my second tier. I loved BBC's Sherlock. Each episode is like a mini movie. It has Benedict Cumberbatch. It's amazing. It's super funny, and obviously I love watching the cases and watching Sherlock like figure out the mysteries. Like that's so fun. I want more shows like that. Next we have Scam. Oh my gosh. Do you guys remember Scam? Were you here for that? This is going in probably changed my life, honestly. So it's a Norwegian teen television show. What year was it that it was super popular over here? I think in 2017? No, 2016? It became very popular in North America, even though it's designed for Norwegian teens. But it was amazing. I love all the characters. I love how it was uniquely made and meant to really like engage the audience, as clips came out throughout the week. And if a clip, let's say, was happening at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, the clip would come out at that time. So it literally seems like you were like watching their lives as it happened. You could follow the characters on social media, and they actually had like a real social media that were made by the show to really seem like this was like real teenagers. So really inventive, like cool idea. Obviously, if you go back and watch it now, you're not gonna have that experience, but if you can find the episodes somewhere, I would recommend watching it now. A similar show is Skins. This is another like teen drama show that's from the UK, and I'm just gonna put it and recommend to others. I have rewatched it a bit, so maybe when I was young I would have put it higher on this list because I like loved it, but it's kind of old news to me now. But if you've never watched it, it's a super cool UK drama. I feel like the UK can get away with more than over here in North America, so if you want to see more like mature stuff going on, you can check that out. Next we have Smallville. Oh, love Smallville. This is another show I finished within the last like year or two. It's obviously about Clark Kent or Superman, and it's like leading up to before he became Superman, and this has to be one of my favorite superhero shows that I've watched. If you saw in my previous tier ranking video, like all those current ones like Supergirl and Arrow and stuff, I watched those, but I don't love them as much as I did love Smallville. So that's the T on that. Next we have Teen Wolf. I would definitely put this up in would binge watch again. In high school, this was one of my favorite shows, like top tier. I was a huge Dylan O'Brien fan and Styles Stilinski. He's just so great in that show, and so are a lot of other characters like Scott or Tyler Posey. Like, he's really great. The plot can get a little crazy, but I think it's a pretty like unique show, honestly. Now we have the OC. We're gonna put that up and would binge watch again. I didn't watch the OC like growing up when it was airing, but I watched it a little later, and it's just one of those classic teen drama shows similar to One Tree Hill and Gossip Girl, which, as I said, I haven't watched that yet. Okay, we're getting down to the wire here. So we have True Blood. Everyone knows True Blood, vampire show on HBO. I would put this down in mixed feelings because there were parts I loved. I really liked Sookie and Eric together. They were kind of like the Damon and Elena of True Blood. But since it was an HBO show, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of like boring moments in it. That's just kind of like how those long episode shows are. I also feel like the plot was not always great, and there's some cringe in it, so I'm just gonna put it in mixed feelings. And last but certainly not least is the Vampire Diaries. I know you guys have been wondering like, where is it? I'm gonna put it obviously up and changed my life. This is my #1 TV show. Kind of funny that it was last, but this is my favorite TV show of all time, mostly due to the relationship between Damon and Elena. I love them so much. Ian Somerhalder is amazing as Damon, and Nina Dobrev is even more amazing, playing multiple characters throughout the series. And I would just recommend this to everyone, like even if you have some like prejudice against it because you think it's just gonna be like Twilight, it's gonna be boring, like it's not. It's on. So this is my final tier ranking. I feel pretty good about it. My top ones and my second ones would recommend to everyone, like must watch. And then we have the rest of it here. This video ended up being really long, I think, so sorry about that, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I mostly did this for me, but leave a comment on what you think about my favorite shows or the shows that I put low on the list. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe for more book or TV show related videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!